story timers! It's your favorite story timer, Annie, and her best pal, E.
Hello, everybody! And today, Annie will be talking about, what was it again?
Morally
great characters!
Thanks, E. That's enough.
Alright.
Yes, that's right. Exactly what E said. We're going to be talking about morally gray characters and their difference between morally white characters, like my shirt. So, here is a little explanation. A morally white character in your story wouldn't even kick a puppy off a cliff if they're held at wand point. Okay, let's see. So imagine it's Harry Potter era, so like there's going to be a lot of wands, like, you know, and there's a puppy, and you're at a cliff, and they're like, okay, I am going to have to torture you if you don't kick that puppy off the cliff. The morally white character would not kick the puppy off the cliff, because they are the best character you're ever going to see in a whole entire story. They don't do a single thing bad. They are usually the main character, or second main character, and they're usually rather young and innocent and sweet. But a morally gray character would kick the puppy off the cliff. Then they take that wand and they torture the guy trying to torture them, and they'd probably feel a little bit guilty for kicking the puppy off the cliff, but they would not feel guilty for torturing that person who held them at one point, because that's how a morally gray character works, and because that person who held them at one point was the villain. Morally gray characters are going to do good things and bad things at the same time in a story. And they might feel like bad for one thing, but they won't feel bad for another thing. That's your little introduction to morally gray, morally white characters comparison. And this is going to be a three-parter, so let me get straight to the point. When you look at it like logically, you don't want to have your villain in your story to be a morally white character. At the best, either it's a prank or a joke or a plot twist, or this bad guy is just a rather nice dude who's bad. Those are your exceptions. The majority of the time, you do not want a morally white character in your story to be the villain. But for morally gray characters, that's a totally different case, which is what I'm going to be talking about today. Professor Severus Snape from the Harry Potter series. Let's get right on with the show. So you might be thinking, what is the problem with Professor Severus Snape throughout the Harry Potter series? Well, let me give you an introduction. Severus Snape is Harry Potter's potions professor and defense against the dark arts teacher at Hogwarts for the whole entire series. But he's the potions professor first. And he is very mean. He's mean to Harry, he's mean to Ron, he's mean to Hermione, he's very, very, very mean to Neville. And what does this get good out of him? It gives him the thought that perhaps he is the morally black character, which, for an easy step point, is usually the villain. They're horrible. They wouldn't just kick the puppy off the cliff, they'd also kill that person who held them at one point. Isn't that bad? Because they're the morally black character. And they wouldn't feel bad for either.
I have a feeling that Anne's explanation of the morally gray character earlier didn't seem that right. I have a feeling that instead, the person would not kick the puppy, but then just turn on the person who wants them to kick the puppy.
You're right, E, and my name is Annie, not Anne.
Oh, sorry, I thought I said Annie.
Oh, I know, E. Just don't forget the I in my name.
Yeah.
Your spelling needs work.
Yeah.
So yes, E is actually correct. But morally gray characters usually do more than one bad thing throughout the series. I'll get to that later. Now for Severus' sake, what does it get out of him? You might be thinking, yes, he is the black character morally. But why? Because he shows himself as being someone who can't seem to think that children should be loved. Because he just has a really bad thing with loving children. Yes, he's a great potions professor, but when it comes to Harry, he did not treat him well. And why? Because Harry was Lily Evans' son. And Snape loved Evans. But the problem was, she didn't love him back, and she married Potter, who was Snape's mortal enemy. So now he sort of has a grudge on Harry. It's rather sad. Well, throughout the series, you get this sort of like fraud where like Harry, he loathes Snape. It's his worst teacher, like his least liked teacher. And that's how it goes throughout the series. They get into all the shebangs, and then you hit the 6th book, and everything changes with the Half-Blood Prince.
Spoiler warnings ahead!
Thanks, E. And Harry, he finds this magically nice written on potions book that gets him through every single thing that Slughorn shoves at him. It's like playing a game of Geometry Dash and you're the green stick figure from Alan Becker's animation. That's exactly how it feels. Harry's the green stick figure. And all of the obstacles is Professor Slughorn. But I know you probably know that little cube better. But I've never played Geometry Dash. I only watch Alan Becker. Now, anyways, yeah. But then at the end of the book, it's figured out that the Half-Blood Prince is none other than Snape. Because his dad was the Muggle and his mom was the witch. So now you know that that's Snape, 6th book. Well, then there's 7th book, and there's even more. What makes him the morally gray character is the fact...
Wait. Also, spoilers, but in the 6th book, didn't he had Dumbledore and,
Oh yeah, 6th book he kills Dumbledore. So yes, you're thinking, this doesn't help him at all. How can he be the morally gray character of the series? By his 7th book, you loathe Snape. Dumbledore is gone. Snape has treated Harry horribly throughout the whole entire book series. Then you get to the climactic ending middle, where Harry is inside of that pensive, and he sees through Snape's memories after Snape himself is dead. And guess what you find? Snape loved Harry. How are you seriously getting to that? Yes, he's a morally great character because he loved Harry and wanted to protect Harry because that's what Dumbledore told him to do, and because he loved Lily Evans, and he realized that since Harry had his mother's eyes, then it made Snape feel like he's happy now because like a part of Lily still lives inside of Harry. It's lovely. It's wonderful. It's a sense of a little bit of a letdown because you wanted a morally black character to be Harry's least favorite potions professor, but then you realize he's a morally gray character because of his job in protecting Harry. And wow. Isn't that wonderful, E?
Yeah!
So that's the morally great character of Harry's life. It's Professor Severus Snape, the greasy, hook-nosed guy whose age no one can seem to agree on. And yeah, that ends part 1 of morally gray characters, comparison to morally white characters, and our discussion on Severus Snape. So tune in next time for more awesome adventures with Anytime Storytime and her wonderful, wonderful, blunderful pal E.